Understanding the Sector's Challenges for School Libraries, presented by Cassie Kimmerlin on July 22, 2020. First List 701 with Dr. Clayton Copeland. School libraries are much more than the eye can see. They are spaces for creativity, learning, literacy, exploration, research, and more. They are hopefully home to certified school librarians who are working diligently to provide a space for their students to feel safe and loved. They are working with teachers to enhance the curriculum so that all students are provided with the materials and information they need to succeed. Alfred describes the role of a school librarian as one that fights for equity and access for all students, runs a safe and inclusive space, encourages creativity and critical thinking, provides a world of stories for readers, keeps our pulse on new tech and teaching trends, and adds value through curation and co-teaching. However, school libraries and librarians face many challenges. Three main challenges are in regards to intellectual freedom, literacy and learning, and equity of access. School libraries and librarians are tasked with overcoming these challenges so that all children are provided with the opportunity to learn, explore, and seek information freely in environments that are accessible for all. One challenge that school libraries face is the issue of intellectual freedom, defined as the right to inquire and to investigate the world of stories and ideas from any viewpoint without barriers or restrictions. Intellectual freedom is granted by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. According to the ALA Bill of Rights, school libraries serve as a point of voluntary access to information and ideas. Censorship of information becomes a challenge in regard to the books in the library's collection that some believe convey ideas, language, and information that is inappropriate. School librarians are faced with finding the thin line between censorship and content and age level appropriateness. Rumberger writes, in regulating children's access to information, adults deny children the opportunity to explore multiple ways of being in the world and to develop understanding of difference. ALA promotes Banned Books Week each year as a time to celebrate the freedom to read and to raise awareness about the books that have been censored. School librarians must remain true to the mission of the library to provide access to all information so that all children can experience true intellectual freedom. In response to intellectual freedom, librarians must be grounded in the core beliefs of the school library. They must be firm but professional when issues of censorship arise. Franklin and Stevens Wright don't shy away from this issue. Embrace the fact that you can help bring knowledge and fun to students through many different types of books. It is also imperative that librarians and schools have plans in place so that complaints can be handled in a manner that is fair and honest. Librarians should be educated in the ALA Bill of Rights so that they can share the information with patrons who have questions about the rights they have as information seekers. It will also be important to have the support of school administration. When thinking long-term, it will be important for school librarians to be diligent in their search of professional development about intellectual freedom. Finally, a school librarian should join professional organizations so that they can learn and advocate to local, state, and national leaders. Another challenge concerns literacy and learning. Gorman writes, literacy is not just a question of reading and writing, but also an ability to express oneself fully. Speech, media, and technology literacy are also important. School librarians must constantly be working to create an environment that supports literacy and learning. This poses a challenge, however, due to the fixed schedules of many school librarians, where students visit the library once a week. School librarian Cable teaches 6 related arts classes each day. She said, I don't know how I would do it if I didn't have an assistant. I would love to do more collaborating with teachers, but my schedule simply doesn't allow for it. Marillion writes, school librarians who teach students once a week may find that teaching is ineffective and learning is not assured. In addition to not having enough time to work freely with students, many school librarians are not viewed as the effective and resourceful teachers that they are. School librarians should be recognized as teacher librarians who are available to co-teach lessons of literacy, research, and information. Also, many school librarians are given many other tasks and responsibilities, such as coordinating social media accounts and managing textbooks. Many school libraries are the hub for technology, and school librarians become the unofficial IT support for teachers and students. School librarians must tackle the barriers of time, lack of collaboration, and other responsibilities so that their students can be exposed to an environment that encourages all forms of literacy. In order to respond to these challenges, school librarians must be flexible with their time, possess a zest for learning, and have a genuine passion for literacy. School librarians should discuss the benefits of a flexible or mixed schedule model with school officials. Library programs that embrace a model of library access at the point of need provide students and teachers with open access and helps ensure that planned co-teaching with the librarian and classroom teachers and specialists will occur. A background and/or experience in teaching could encourage teachers to welcome teacher librarians into their classrooms for collaboration and co-teaching. Again, it would be beneficial for school librarians to seek professional development in addition to observing literacy teachers and coaches at their school. A long-term goal would be to seek additional certifications and degrees in literacy and teaching so that they can continue to be considered vital members of their school community. Finally, school libraries are challenged with ensuring that they are providing equitable access for all users. Equity of access, defined by Gorman, is the basic premise that everyone has a right to have access to library resources and services, irrespective of who they are and where and under which conditions they live. It is important for school libraries to remember that they are serving all students in all possible ways, always. This becomes a challenge because school libraries are often victim to budget cuts within a school district. The lack of funding leaves many school libraries with outdated collections and technology and trained personnel. ALA states decades of research indicates that there is a positive correlation between learners attending schools with full-time state-certified school librarians and higher scores on standardized reading tests. Despite the research, too often certified school librarian positions are cut. Many school libraries also face the issue of providing equitable access for persons with differing abilities. Physical design, small spaces, and outdated furniture creates concern and anxiety for individuals who use devices to aid in mobility. There is also a lack of programming, assistive technology, and services for children with differing cognitive abilities to explore and utilize the school library. Equitable access encourages a shift from developing special services for specific user groups to sustaining quality services for all user groups at all times. School librarians must work to provide a library that is free from barriers and restrictions, both physically and intellectually, so that all users can access the school library equitably. It is critical for school librarians to respond to all issues related to their users' right to equitable access. School librarians will need to be hospitable and personable so that all users feel welcomed and included. They must be willing to establish and foster relationships with their users so that they can better serve their needs. In response to the budget cuts of resources and positions, school librarians must constantly advocate for their jobs and for the services that they provide. Cashel writes, "It is the responsibility of the school librarian to inform principals of the information, reading, and instructional technology needs of the school. School librarians should promote the purchasing of various assistive technologies and strive for remodeling of library spaces so that all users are able to utilize the library's resources. The teacher librarian should be a valued and influential partner along with special educators to improve the learning environment for students with special needs. Additionally, seeking professional development and surveying school library users would provide school librarians with valuable information about what they can do to make their library more accessible for all. As always, it is important to join professional organizations so that librarians can advocate for their profession." One commonality that has challenged school libraries is the current COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic has forced the temporary closure of schools, and school librarians have been tasked with finding ways to provide for their students. School librarians have been hosting virtual story times, delivering books to their students' homes, and have spent countless hours providing assistance to students on assignments via chat spaces. School librarians have proved during this pandemic that they will constantly work to provide all students with quality literacy and learning opportunities. Despite the challenges discussed in this presentation, school libraries continue to be vital parts of K-12 schools. School librarians are constantly striving to provide their students the freedom and access to learn, explore, and seek information in learning environments so that all children can experience a library that has their well-being and success in mind.